Hello and welcome to the group Zoom call. It is the 21st of April in the US, 22nd on the Gold Coast of Australia, where I'm located. Hope you've all had a really good weekend. As you've seen over the last hour, I've been showing one of our signal charts that I've been running. So I just want to make sure everything is actually set up on my side here, that you all can hear and everything, which I'm sure you can, because that seems to all be working as it should. Yes, okay. All right, so as usual, we've got the group calls chat on Discord that you guys can, comment in during the video. Okay, so what are we looking at? Our signal chart. I initially was trading this on my live account, on another screen. So I initially went short when the price was failing below the 76.4, but now I'm actually in a long position. So that is currently what my chart is looking like. So I'm seeing a few different things happening over here. Obviously, the price failed initially at the 76.4, and then I actually entered positions predicting the price going down, but as soon as the price broke through that 76.4 again, I changed position. So I'm going to be just monitoring that and seeing how the price works around the 76.4. So that's a strong Fibonacci level. It's a 4-hour level. So I'm going to keep that to the side and we'll watch how that goes. But we have had some strong divergences over here, that have formed while the price is going up. So a lot of you, let me just get rid of my videos because it's hiding a bit of the screen. Okay. So a lot of you guys are there. A lot of you guys are looking at a chart like this, and I did a few live screen recordings during last week. I did one on Friday and I did one, I think, on Thursday or the same day, I can't remember. But I basically just set up the signal chart and let it run and then left the computer. So just so guys can see how the signals are formed and, see how, basically how the chart looks and how the real-time signals are formed. So pretty awesome signals. Now, for a very simple way of reading this chart is we're looking for the coloring of the bars. So the coloring of the bars is going to be your first indicator of who's in control of the price. So you can change the coloring of the bars as much as you want. And even for the complementary, for the guys who are running the, the complementary tools, this is what your complementary tools look like. You've still got the shadow trading indicator and you have the breakout volume indicator. So anybody who is running the complementary tools and they have this chart loaded up, they will see these signals on their chart. Okay, they're not going to obviously see the Fibonacci levels and all the other indicators, but this is what they are actually going to see. So even from this, you can immediately see these breakout markers being left behind. Price has moved up 170 ticks, 160 ticks, 117 ticks, just from those signals. So you just have to be on the right side of those positions, and you can actually enter trades in both directions, but stay in the direction obviously where the signals are pointing the highest to. And even with this one, you can change the coloring of the bars. But let me just switch back to my normal one. So that is the 2020. So obviously the DTB bars 2020 is the best way of reading this, or any of the DTB bars configurations, because it's going to give you a real true price indication. So there's no false ticks on these bars. So a lot of Renko bars, a lot of those type of tick bars are going to show invalid price points, whereas the DTB bars has got 0 invalid price points. Wherever you see that bar forming is exactly where price was. It didn't, there's no false ticks. So the most simplest way to read this is, green is going up, gold is going down. So the buyers are in control when the bars are green, and the sellers are in control when the bars are gold. So as you scroll on the chart, you're going to see this all the time. You're going to see the bar coloring change. You're going to see the support and resistance from these bands that we've got on the chart. you're going to see the bar colorings change as we go. And, obviously when there's predominantly gold bars on the chart, you are going to know who's in control of the price. So I'm just going to reduce the size a bit here. And then when you get to these tomato colored bars, that means there's a very likelihood of price reversing. So it's hit a strong, support and resistance level. So obviously resistance on top, support below, they can form all over the place. So price is basically going to react around these levels. And then when you have these cyan bars, that's when the price is majorly oversold, but still be watching what the other indicators are doing. So if the price is smashing through Fibonacci levels and it's not coming back and going over them, then you know that price is being pushed down. There's a reason for that price going down. The banks and institutions are, they're pushing that price no matter what. So that's the best way of reading this. And another absolutely brilliant way of reading the signal chart is to look at what Fibonacci levels are doing. So obviously today we saw the market open. Okay, the market opened at 6 p.m. It dropped down to the 38.2, which was a previous day's Fibonacci level. So if we look at the indicator on our indicator in the settings over here, you'll be able to see, that is like the deep pink color. So you go to the Fibonacci levels indicator and you'll be able to see the color. So that's a daily Fibonacci level. So as you guys know, the DTB Fibonacci levels can go as far as monthly. So it's looking at the monthly Fibonacci levels, weekly, daily, 4 hours, 60 minutes. So it's really putting all of these Fibonacci levels in play over all different periods of time to make sure that those support and resistance levels are shown, because these are the institutional support and resistance levels that nobody else actually has. And it takes a long time to actually go manually plot them. So basically we came down over here, we went to the monthly Fibonacci 38.2. It just came and touched it. You can see the previous day on Friday, it basically touched it, bounced off, and then the market closed. Well, it opened above, it came back and basically touched it, came up. We had a beautiful breakout marker showing us up there. And then since then, we've had this ribbon and the breakout volume markers give us major support areas. So you'll see this white marker left behind, this blue marker left behind, this red marker left behind. Those, the price, until the price breaks through those, it's not going down at all. And now that the price has, made it above the 76.4, there's a very high likelihood that this is going to go up. It's going to continue up for a while. Obviously, until the price successfully closes below and our momentum line is facing right down and going, right down to the chart. So often you can see all of these, these, what I call them, divergence dotted lines. And often you could be fooled to be taking a short position at that stage, but you also have to look at what the Fibonacci levels are and where those breakout volume markers are. So, they give you a very clear indication of who's in control and where that support is. Okay, so that is that. So I'll be watching this on my other chart while the call is going. I've got my stop in place at 17,239. So I do have a larger stop. So if the price breaks below this level over here, which is over there, then I know that, I'm happy to take short positions. But until then, and until these breakout markers, move, or if they stay in position and they continue being the support level, then this price is not going to break through it. So we'll see what happens on top here, and we'll see what happens at this Fibonacci level. Okay. All right, so let's have a look at a few of our updates this week. I might just close this window temporarily. Actually, I'll bring up the chart. Okay, so if you load up the workspace, that is called, let me just see the workspace, 1 second. It's the DTB indicator sample. So workspaces, yeah, DTB indicator sample. So these are obviously for members only. If you load that workspace up, you're going to see, after you run the script and update it, obviously, you're going to see that there is another signal chart in there, and it's called Trend Analysis Multi. So this one over here is basically a whole lot of different trend analysis lines and information in play. So you'll notice over here, I've just moved over the DTB trend indicators to their own window. So if you go into the indicator settings, you will see that, let's just bring this up. You will see over here that under the DTB trend minute, what I've done is I have changed the window that it appears in. So that's why you're seeing over here, where the hell is it? Panel. It's the panel. So I've basically set up a new panel, and I've, made these in there. So if you don't do that there, they're all going to be on top. So it's just going to be overshadowing the chart. You don't really want to have the chart having too much things in place. Now, for a lot of people, this is very busy, but these are basically amazing trend lines that are automatically drawn. And as the day progresses, you're going to have a lot more drawing. So you can actually choose the delay on these. So I've just set this up for you guys to look at, and you can run it on playback too. It's an amazing thing to actually set up. But this is giving you these built-in trend lines that are basically plotting, and you can basically see also based on this of where the support and resistance levels are too. So this green line obviously had plotted earlier, so it is showing that currently is the level of of support for that trend. So price breaking below, that could be an indication of price going down, but we've got to watch what's happening with those. Obviously, we have our different trend analysis in play also. So we've also got, the dotted lines over there. So there's quite a few indicators on this chart. It is quite busy, but it's giving you guys like a full-on solid approach to it. And then what you can do is you can start removing some of the tools. So for example, we've got all three of the trend analysis for minute, tick, and volume. Some of you might not be interested in the tick and volume. You might just be interested in the minutes, so you can remove some of those. Some of you guys might not like to have, those lines on the chart and might want to use something else. So this is just a complete setup of all the trend indicators that we have. And, for those of you that don't know what these red squares and green squares are, well, that is giving you the trend of that period of time. So if you load up a 1 minute bar, a 2 minute bar, 3 minute bar, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 60, 240, and a daily, if you load up a daily bar, any of those charts, that is going to be the trend on that specific chart. So this is giving you so for at the moment, the 1, 2, 3, and 5 minute charts are all showing a downtrend. But the 10-minute chart, 15-minute chart, 20-minute chart, 30-minute chart are all showing uptrend. And the 60-minute chart, 240 daily, and those are all showing down. So that it's giving you a micro and a macro look at trend. And it's the same with tick. I mean, if you load up a 10 tick chart, it's a very small chart, but, the last 10 ticks, 20 tick, 30, 50, 100 tick charts are all showing up. But the 150, the 200 are showing down, 300, 780, like those are the tick charts that are showing their trend direction. So it's giving you a really good indication of what trends are on different time frames. So if you are only trading a much longer term trend, you might be looking towards the right hand side of these and say, okay, well, I know the 60 minute and 240 minute is showing down, but the tick is showing up and the volume is showing up. So, you're only going to be going for long positions. Or if you more into the major scalping type of thing, you'll be looking at the left here, and you'll be looking for something where they're all lining up. So you'll see like the 1 minute, 10 tick, and 100 volume are all showing down. Or, that's also quite low. That's for very, very, very fine scalping. But, you might want to go for the 5 minute. So 5 minute, 50 tick, and 500 volume. So currently those are all showing red, which is why we've actually had the price drop, for this period. So if you are in a short position, for example, and you are focusing on a very specific type of channel, or a very specific type of period of that you're looking at, then you'll say, okay, when those are all green, I'm only going to go long, or when those are all red, I'm going to go short. So you can specifically pick, and as you can see, everything is flying now green. So I mean, this is what it's going to give you. It's going to update you on a tick by tick basis on all of those bars. I think these specific bars are on bar close. Let me just have a look quickly. I know you can update them by going into their settings. So let's have a look. So these trend analysis, they're on each tick. So they're giving you it's giving you such a fine look at those trend values on a tick by tick basis. And same with these trend lines. I mean, they're going to be drawing, and this line drew all the way back. As soon as the price touched over there, this line would have drawn. This last green line that we're looking at. Sorry, I got a bit of a delay again. So, this last trend line over here would have plotted at this point over here. So, as soon as it found a trend over there, it's draw this trend line, and it's basically put it up there. And then so far that has held. And then as the day progresses, you're going to have a lot more of these come into play. So, load this up on a separate chart. Well, like I said, it's already part of the workspace. So you can already have, you can just click on this chart, even if you want to run playback on it and just look at how it's plotting values. You're going to find it is pretty awesome. Okay, so there's a question on YouTube. Can I subscribe to the trend lines by itself? No. So what I pride myself in doing is providing a complete system. So I don't separate things, because I don't believe one thing alone is going to make you successful. You need to have a proper system. A lot of these marketing companies, they are selling individual tools, promising you to make $1,000 a day with this tool. I mean, I could do the same thing. I could say, oh, look at these trend lines. Look, you can make $1,000. Look, if you enter over there. I mean, I'm not that type of company. I don't want to be selling little magic bullets. I believe there's a system that is needed, and there might be components of a system. But at the end of the day, there are a few things that need to be put together. So one of the most important things that you have to have as a successful trader is Fibonacci levels. I mean, it is the most common sense thing that I could think of to tell anybody. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Fibonacci levels, it's bullshit. They're not always successful. Look, the price breaks through. That wasn't support. It wasn't resistance. Well, they're thinking from a very narrow-minded approach. So a lot of the, there is something that is called, slipped my tongue. Where different instruments are basically working together. So for example, if the ES is at a very strong Fibonacci level, but the NQ isn't, the price is still going to more than likely react on the ES. And as a result of it acting on the ES, it's also going to act on the NQ. So that's why it's a really important thing to do, is to have different instruments open with their Fibonacci levels to see if any of those instruments are at pivotal points where there is strong support and resistance likely to affect price. Because like I said, if the ES is at a very strong level and price reacts around that level, even if the NQ isn't at a strong level, it's going to react. And it's the same with the NQ. If the NQ is at a very strong level and the ES is not, then the price is still going to react on the ES because they're all correlated, basically. So, imagine trying to do monthly, weekly, 4-hour, hourly, 60-minute, all those Fibonacci's on each of the instruments manually, and then trying to go adjust them manually as price moves. Well, you're going to be here forever, right? And you're going to definitely stuff things up. So the really good thing about, the really amazing thing about the DTB tools or the Fibonacci levels on here is you can just switch to any instrument that you want, and those levels are automatically going to plot. So like, for example, I'm going to switch to the RTY. Okay, let's go to the Russell 2000. And that is going to load the exact same signal chart, and it's going to plot the Fibonacci levels for that. And it's going to go back and look at the monthly, weekly, 4-hourly. Those are all going to plot as well. You see, so now those are all those levels. So, and every time you load one of these charts, you will see, okay, well, look, there's the 50, the green, that is the 4-hour. There's the price. It came, bounced off the Fibonacci, came up, broke through, retested it, broke through, retest. And there you have a cluster of Fibonacci levels. So, I mean, it is freaking vitally important. And hardly anybody trades with Fibonacci levels. Like, certainly none of these, these companies selling their crappy tools. They fundamentally missing the boat, basically. Like, it's fundamentally missing the boat. They might as well close up shop, really, because they selling shit. I mean, you just have to spend a bit of time looking at this to realize, oh my God, this is absolutely vitally important. And any instrument that you load up, now I was going to go the ES. So if I switch to the ES, it's the same thing there. You are going to see these levels come into play. Now, I'm interested to see what the ES is looking like and compare that to the NQ. So you see how simple and quick it is to, load up these charts, get all of those levels plotted for you right off the bat without having to go and manually draw them. I mean, if you want to go sit and manually draw Fibonacci levels, you obviously don't value your time. I mean, you do not value your time if you have to sit there and manually go and draw Fibonacci levels for an hour every day. I mean, really. Okay, so let's let this one load up. That's the ES. Now, obviously, I've got a few more tools on here, including the volume. See, like, there's the 61.8 of the ES. Now, that 61.8 of the ES almost mirrors the 76.4. In fact, if you put them next to each other, you will see, oh crap, I can't do that. Actually, I can. I just want to get this one closer over there. And I want to take this chart, and I want to just move this to a new window. I wasn't planning on going into the Fibonacci levels today, but something obviously set me off. But it's good. I mean, whatever you guys are following on here, if time is spent on it, it obviously is valuable, right? I mean, the amount of time and effort I've put into these tools and the learning is definitely being rewarded for you guys, because you've obviously got access to these tools, which very few people have. I mean, as you've noticed, I'm not a marketing company that goes and just spams everybody with crap. I've got the very best tools. I mean, how many Ferrari adverts do you see, hey? Well, this is basically what it comes down to. Okay, so I'm going to just try to plot this on the one screen, which is going to be nice and clear. So the way you do this with two charts is click on the crosshair, click on global, and click on the crosshair and click on global. Now what this does is it's basically plotting on both charts. It's very tricky. It's very tricky to do this. I might have to switch to a smaller chart on the ES. So I'm just going to switch to a 5 range chart. Okay, it's not working as like I would like it to work. Trying to find the crosshair. Okay, so I'm just going to switch this over to a smaller chart also. So if I go to the range and I go to a 10 range, I know it's a bit small on this chart, but it should show up nicely. Okay. Okay, I'm struggling with this. But generally you can see what's happened. The price, there we go. See this price over here? This is the price of the 76.4 of the ES. And as you can see, the NQ 76.4 was very close to it, like very close. So there are two levels that are together. Now in real time, as you're watching this, you'll see, oh wow, okay. So the ES has broken through the 61.8, came back down, retested the 61.8, failed at that level and has gone up. And the exact same thing happened on the 76.4 of the NQ. So the price came, broke through. So as soon as the price is above both of those levels, then you know the price is going to go up. And now we're obviously at the 61.8 level of the 5 minute on the ES, and we're also very, very close to the 61.8 on this chart too. So if I scroll to the end, you'll see there's the 61.8 over there. So this price is reacting around the 61.8 and is doing the same here. Now this does help looking at different screens. Trying to compact it like this is a bit of a bitch, but I'm sure you get the gist of this. God, let me just get rid of this. This is a bit it's a bit tricky looking on one screen. That's what I'm trying to say. So it definitely helps to have more screens to be able to see even just one chart per screen to really get a good look at what this is. So again, looking at the instruments that work together can often tell you where price is likely to go. What the hell did I just do there? Did I just close the whole thing? No. Okay, 1 second. I got to just reopen that. Give me 1 second. There we go. Interesting. Okay, cool. I'm going to just minimize this and maximize this again. So there's a 10 range on the NQ. As you can see, we kind of are coming back down to the 76.4. But unless that really breaks through, we've got some strong support there. Our momentum line, obviously this is a smaller chart. You've got to adjust the settings again. So going back to the range that it was on a 20 range. We can put it back on there. And it's also it's also a place where you can enter positions at a much lower risk as well. Because if you are seeing the price come up, fail at the 76, come up, come back to it again, it's a very low risk area of entry because there's a good chance that the price is going to be reacting around that level. Okay, so that's what I did with, so that's the Fibonacci levels. Now, coming back to our trend, you are going to notice, obviously, as price moves, you're not going to be able to draw like I did over there. That was just for this. But you got the idea with that, with drawing those levels. So yeah, have a good look at these, and I definitely encourage you guys to run some playback on this, especially if you want to do it like after hours or outside of your trading hours. We've been trading 9 till 12 with our automated strategies. So, if you just want to run the automated strategies and then run this on playback or even watch this in real time, you're going to see how these levels form and how they basically create these signals. So I like this. I like this a lot, and it does get a lot busier. So if you go into the settings, now this is one of the updates that I've done. If you go into the indicator settings for the trend, you're going to notice that it's got a delay. So we're trying to really pick up the proper trend on this. So the bigger bars you go on, you can fine tune this a bit more. But if you go to the DTB multi-trend line, you've got a trend line delay. Now, if you had to go and reduce this down, like say we make this on a 5, you're going to notice it's going to produce a lot more lines on the chart. Now, some of you might like that. Obviously, the more green lines there are, obviously the trend's going up. The more red lines, trend's going down. I mean, obviously get that. And then those are the levels. So you might say, well, okay, as soon as it breaks through these levels, then I'm going to get out of my long position. That could be something to do. So depending on which bar size you have, you can definitely go in and reduce or increase that trend line delay. So it's basically all it's doing is it's confirming a trend by using a bar delay instead of just acting on every single trend change. Now, if you go and change this DTB trend, so the multi-trend line, if you go make this a 1, okay, then you are going to obviously see a lot more lines in every direction, you see? And you don't want that. I mean, you don't want to see that, obviously. Okay, so you need to increase it. That's why I've got this on a 10. I like this. I like having this on a 10, and that's for a small chart. So like a 20 range, 30 range. I mean, it's a good size to use. And then you've also got some arrows. So you'll see there's big arrows there. Those are the arrow lines for this indicator. Okay. All right. So now the next tool that I want to show you that I've made adjustments to is the following. So I'm going to just go into this indicator and remove some of the tools. So that's going to just give me a clean sheet of the specific tool that I want to show the update to. So let's get that in. All right. So it's not the multi-trend. I just want to show you guys the trend. Which is this one over here. Apply and OK. So all those dots and blocks at the bottom are calculated with this. So if the arrow is showing down, that means the current trend on the 30 range is down. So you're going to see the bar coloring. So if you go into the indicator settings, you will see that there is a ability to adjust the coloring of the bars also. So you'll see for an uptrend, I've chosen cyan. For a downtrend, I've chosen magenta. So those are the bar colorings. And I've got the option to color the bars on or off. So that is if you want to use the trend, okay, but you don't want this indicator to color the bars, you might want the shadow trading to color the bars, as an example. But for this, we'll keep it like this. And what this is going to do is it's going to show you the change of trend. So as soon as you see a red bar, that means a change of trend. And then the bars afterwards is continuing that trend. So it's down. There's a green bar and the change of trend. So if you go to any chart on this, like a 5-minute chart even, you'll be able to see the coloring of the bars telling you the overall trend. So like there's the 5-minute trend, up and down. And obviously you can change the coloring of the bars. So this is also a good tool to use to determine, if you're scalping on a specific chart, which direction you should work in. Because as soon as that trend changes, there's a good likelihood that that's going to update. So obviously all of these bars, all of these boxes that you saw on that previous indicator, the trend analysis ones, for the minute tick and volume, those are basically these. So all of these values over here that you're seeing on this indicator, like this is the minute one, you're going to see that. So currently, obviously the 5 minute is red. Now, if I switch to a different chart, like a 15-minute chart, you'll see the last trend is green. So we're currently in a trend. If I switch to a 30-minute chart, you'll see that it's also green. But if I switch to a 60-minute chart, you'll see it's red. You see, so this is basically telling you, like those squares on that chart that I was showing you earlier, is showing you in real time what each of those trends are. So that's why, you know, it's really helpful just having this box over here of all these values, so that you can see at a quick snapshot what the trend is for all those various different time frames. And it's the same with tick, the same with volume, and so on. So those are pretty helpful. I love seeing the coloring. So there, if you're scalping the market, and you really want to get in on the minute bars. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the minute bars, but because I think this is severely manipulated and very, very quick. But even maybe the 5 minute bars, I mean, you could switch to like a 5 minute bars with this indicator, okay, seeing a trend reversal, and then popping on your Fibonacci levels and then seeing where the price is. If you don't want to use the Fibonacci levels for the actual Fibonacci levels for the main trading that we're doing, you can also add in our auto Fibonacci, which is also an amazing tool that's going to draw you trend channels. So if I look at that very quickly, I haven't loaded this up for a while. DTB Auto Fibonacci Auto Trend. Okay, so I love this tool because this is going to give me, it's going to draw a channel for the price, and it's going to tell me the retracement and the extension values. So another cool thing to do, and you can switch this to any type of bar size, any type of chart, and it's going to draw those channels and give you those Fibonacci values within that channel or the extensions beyond it. So like there, that channeled the price there. So you see, so for the last, on the 15 range chart, this was the channel that it had drawn. And this channel would have drawn, way back earlier. So, that's also another great tool to use, because as you can see, even further back in price, well, this is basically where it started. So it started drawing over here at the beginning of the session, and it basically channeled the price, and it gave you all the Fibonacci levels within that channel. So there's the top of the channel, bottom of the channel. So, another great way of looking at entry positions, because I mean, the top of this channel was identified over here long ago, long before the price even touched that value. It actually went and, drew that channel. So, you could have a few different tools loaded up, maybe not all at the same time on the same chart, but having 2 or 3 different signal charts available to you, loading them up on different screens or even different tabs, and then cycling between them and seeing, okay, where is price more likely to go? Okay, so that there, it shot down. It just went crazy over there. So I definitely was stopped out of my position, which happened. But there we go. So there we've got the price broke below the 76.4. That's it. It's down. This is going down. So jump in quick, get in there, and you got 20, 40, 60, 8, like 100 ticks after that. Because once that price failed, it's now given us that it's given us that clear indication of price going down. So you see how the price can falter. It can falter around these Fibonacci levels, but as soon as it gets clear direction, it shoots. It just freaking goes. And you know why it just shoots to shit and gone? Because there's nothing stopping it. like between the 76.4, which is the 4 hour, and the monthly, was it weekly? Monthly 38.2. There was nothing stopping it. That's why the price just shot all the way down, and it only really failed at the monthly 38.2 Fibonacci level, which most people would not even know even exists. But you guys have got this in your toolkit. So, it pays attention to watch the charts, have a few different signal charts on the go, watch the Fibonacci levels, and don't go against what the Fibonacci levels are telling you. Stay in line with them. And obviously with the signal chart, it was just a clear thing. Once that happened, it was just going to shoot. Okay, cool. So I'm going to leave that for right now. Let's have a look at our, and then there's our trend again. You see, look, so there's our trend telling us going down, and then there's an arrow there to saying trend going up. So that's the 15 range. Now, there we go. So a very, 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 very effective scalping tool, because it's basically, this arrow is plotting the moment that this bar closes, that arrow is going to appear. So it's the same with the shadow trading. Now, if we go and load up the shadow trading on this chart, see, and now there it's changed. It has changed the channel, because we've got the setting to make it. It's picked up now. Okay, well, let's work on this channel here. So these are going to update, and you're going to have the Fibonacci levels between these channels update. But like, I wouldn't go on a 15 range. You'd probably go on a slightly larger bar. So if we switch, even a 5 minute, not the biggest fan, but we can switch to a 5 minute, and we still got these, the previous channel there, which seems to cover a much larger period of price. 5 minutes a bit. It's basically channeled that, which is quite interesting. But then we also have settings. So not one setting of every single indicator is going to work on every bar type. So like the 5 minute there, you've got your auto Fibonacci for auto trend. We need to have a bit of an adjustment over here. So you can look at the different levels over here, obviously, that are plotting. Excuse me. And then you can look at the percentage over there and adjust that. So, okay, so that went, I went the wrong way. So I'm just going to go like this. Okay, that's made it a bit too fine. And yeah, I didn't really design this for the 5 minute bars, but anyway, it's more for the DTB bars. I mean, I design every single thing around the DTB bars. So if you're looking, to look at how the tools work, look at them on the DTB bars, because that is primarily what they have been designed to work under. So if I go back over here and I go back into my indicator settings, okay, so now see what it's done there? It's channeled this. So the open to that one and the current low. So that's how it's channeled the price now. So price went up, touched the 38. So that's what you can look at. Now again, not a tool to use on its own. It's a really powerful thing to look at the different signal charts. Like there's your shadow trading. So you can combine the shadow trading with the trend. And as you can see, we had the price come up, touch that ribbon again, fail at the Fibonacci or at the shadow trading. So remember, our shadow trading indicator for full DTB members has got this dotted line too. So that is also going to plot, and that dotted line plotted all the way back over here. So that also provides a level of support. So, and then you can see the price failed at the 5 minute 76.4. So there's a lot of things to look at on this, which is why you can turn on this chart at any time and take advantage of entries. You don't have to wait for certain times of the day. I mean, you could literally sit for 60 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes and be done trading for the day just by loading up a couple of signal charts, looking at what they're all telling you, and then entering 1 or 2 trades on those, taking 20, 30, 40 ticks, and then you're done for the day. Don't go stuff around chasing 5 or 6 or 10 ticks. Go for 2 or 3 bars, at least on that. And then, preferably you want to work with the DTB bars. Don't go stuff around with anything else. You generally want to work with the DTB bars. I just want to go custom range. No, days is fine. So on a Sunday, just load 3 days. It'll just give you enough information. See, now that's going to plot accordingly. Okay. So as you can see, everything is designed for the DTB bars. You're going to have slight variances when you switch to other bars. So there's that same level. It's just 1 bar up. But there's your breakout volume markers too. You see, you've got this blue breakout marker volume, which they formed a long time ago. And now you've got the repositioning of the orange and the red is still currently in play. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at our results for last week. Okay, so we started the last week. So that was the previous week where I did that for the week. So all my screenshots above is basically, this is while I was away actually, which is pretty cool. So these are the results for that. And, thanks for popping in your results in there. I put my screenshots in there too. So thanks for posting your results in there, guys. Alan had a bit of a loss, but I think he messed up something on his side because we didn't experience that. Yeah, so last week, there was definitely some sort of data manipulation that happened at the beginning of the week, and it kind of carried through in the week. Now, so for most of you, you know that whenever we post strategies and templates, we have the same results. So if you look through all of our past historical screenshots, you'll see, I'll post my results, another person will post his results, another person will post their results, and they all match. Like we have the same trades. But sometimes, now I don't want to say too much about this because I don't want to get into trouble with these companies, but sometimes these data providers and or platform can stuff things up. Definitely can happen where there's going to be data manipulation, there's going to be some issues. And last week, we specifically had one entire data provider, like that data provider stuffed up badly, and 2 people got the same results because of that stuff up, which means everybody using that data provider, had the same issue with trades entering where they should not have entered. So I definitely pride myself in having a system where everybody can have the same results no matter where you are. So no matter on what data feed you are, no matter where you are in the world, if you're trading the DTB system and you've got that strategy active, you're going to have the same entries, which is unheard of actually. And it took me many years to get to that stage. But last week somebody screwed up and we had the data providers literally screw up the data. And because our strategies are so fine-tuned, we're working on tick charts, not working on 15-minute or 5-minute charts. We actually had, that occur last week. So that was bullshit, but, we can't do anything about it. The only thing we can do is continue and keep posting our results and hopefully not have data glitches like happened last week. Okay, so I had a good week. I had a really good week on my strategies, and I see a lot of you guys did also. The game plan did fantastically well. I think I personally only had one losing day last week. There was a big losing day, one of the days last week, and there was a big day, a big losing day on the strategies. Okay, and I mean that happens, right? We're not going to expect every single day to be perfect, but then guess what? The next day, it all worked out again. We had profitable trades. So we had basically one losing day on the game plan. Even though we suffered data manipulation, we still had, a really successful week. And I know Matthew, you must have been using SI2 Apex, SI2. That's the SI strategy. So obviously you were running that. Now I don't remember there being any. I don't remember there being any templates shared for that or any SI multi-filter. The last templates I see shared was the 8th of April from Fernando. So maybe you ran your own optimizations and those were your results. So yeah, that does suck a bit. Having a losing week like that, $288 loss for the week, that does suck, especially if you're running on a small account and you have just running MNQ. But for the rest of us, we were quite successful. So the best thing to do, I would say, is to go back to the baseline wick trader. We're gonna still run. So I saw there was a chat over there. I'm not sure if there's any things happening in there. Okay, so there are a few templates shared in there. So I'm gonna look at these templates. I'm gonna load them up shortly and see if I can add them to our game plan for the week ahead. And then what we'll do is we'll continue posting our results. Okay, so thanks for producing those, Christopher. I will look at those in a moment. And like I said, for you guys, before the New York session starts, just look at the game plan chat, and we will, go from there. So we should have a good week. But still, guys, if some of you have been looking at the Medina Wick Trader strategy, so definitely continue working with that. That is an exceptionally powerful strategy. Managing the strategy, managing the sliders, like I see you did there, Bruce. Well done. And I mean, the signal chart. I mean, looking at the signal chart, starting, pausing the strategy is still the very, very best way to trade the DTB system with the Medina Wick Trader. You're choosing direction, long or short, looking at a signal chart, and very often, you're not going to go long positions until you see the price actually break through certain levels. It's the same with the short positions on the signal chart. You're not generally going to look at going short until the price has broken through a ribbon and or Fibonacci levels. So, I mean, they're very clear to pick up signals on this. Okay, so that's it from me. I hope you guys have a fantastic week ahead, and we shall see you on next week's call. So next week's call will run the same time, and we'll discuss the results from this previous week. I don't think I'm going to be doing many updates this week. We've kind of got the system beautifully set up. So load up the signal charts. I mean, they're absolute game changers. Okay, guys, have a good one, and chat to you later. Cheers.